Welcome, everybody. And I'm really happy to be here with you all today, as I have a really special guest, one of my good clients, also friends, Gorm. And I'm going to interview him today. So it's going to be really, really interesting and to share how his success story and how he went from being really exhausted and when he came to see me, and then now having gone through the program, at least most part of the program, he's now getting, he has a lot of energy and being able to stop procrastinating and also being able to do everything what needs to be done. So I'm really excited to be sharing this story with all of you here today. And thank you so much, Gorm, for being here and making yourself available for this interview. And so if you now can just shortly just share with us, what do you do, Gorm? Just to give you a little bit of an insight of what you do.
Yeah, my name is Gorm Hansen, and I work with research, product development, and project management within reliable automation. It includes robotics, drones, electronics, programming, all things that are fun.
Yeah. It sounds really a lot of fun, and I know how much you love doing that. And can you share with us what was your biggest challenge prior to starting working with me?
I couldn't do kind of anything at work. I couldn't read one page of a master's degree even and remember what's written there.
So as you're used to from our sessions, I interrupt sometimes, so I'm going to continue doing that also in this interview. And so when you say that you couldn't read a page, so exactly, what does that mean? It was because you were exhausted, right?
Yes, I couldn't concentrate myself.
No, you couldn't concentrate.
No concentration.
Yeah.
So I read the page, but I didn't remember anything.
Yeah. Exactly. So how was that for you to not, let's say, read a page and then you don't remember it afterwards, and you didn't have concentration or focus? So how was that for you to not have that?
It was kind of nederlag. Sorry for my English. It felt so bad. I couldn't do my job. I was exhausted and bad mood.
No, you know what, like I really relate so much to what you're sharing, because for me, like I went through same and similar experiences myself too. So I definitely understand what you're sharing and saying. It's because I remember also back in time, or back in the days when I didn't have any concentration, and I was beating myself up, and I was, because I don't know if you can relate to this, but anyway, I always saw myself as somebody who, like, for me, it's not a problem to do anything. Like, I could always do things. Like, it was really easy for me to do a lot of things. And then suddenly I found myself in this position where I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even able to do this simple little task that is not supposed to take any energy or anything, like any skill or nothing, and I'm not even able to do it. And I like, it was such a nightmare for me. And so I just wanted to say, definitely understand what you're sharing.
For a long time, my strategy was to write down everything I should do, like a bullet list, and that could work for a month or two. But then I didn't want to look at the bullet list because there were so many things to do. Yeah, that
That's
didn't
so
work either.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds so familiar. Yeah, right. And now, where would you say, where are you now after having worked with me?
Um, I just want to just start. It was not only at work this was a problem, it was a work at home as well.
Mm, mm,
No matter what my wife asked me to do, I couldn't do it. I said I'm too exhausted. I don't want to speak about this now, and don't want to do this now. You will have to wait. So after I started with you, I quite soon got a lot more energy,
mm-hmm,
and my mood was much better.
mm-hmm,
At least
mm-hmm.
at home, I could do. I just did the things I should do. Whether it,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So you stopped. So what really changed? Let's say, like you stopped procrastinating. You stopped thinking about it. You just sort of like went, and then you just did it.
yeah, and the nice thing with that, or except from doing things, was that it didn't cost me a calorie. It was it was no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is really the best feeling in the world when you, after having done a lot of things, like especially like the story that I mean we both have in common, like having gone through that experience of like everything seems like a drag and everything seems like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm not in the mood. I'm not feeling inspired to do whatever it is, if it is around the house, simple thing as going for a hike, just like move the body, and then suddenly you have done so many things, like everything, like I don't know, something in the garden, maybe you have done that, and then doing some workout routine, some exercise, and then like plenty of stuff, like reading and responding to emails and reading a book or whatever, and then it's like you don't think about it after. And then when you have done all these things, at least it was like that for me, I was just like, oh my god, now I've just like done these 10 things, and I didn't even think about doing them prior to. Now I just realized after I've done them, like, oh my god, I've actually done a lot of stuff. So
and it was so bad that I was kind of hesitating to start working with you because
mm,
I knew that I couldn't do anything, and that was a nice thing, that I didn't
mm.
need to do anything, and this in the start of the program. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much for bringing that up, because actually that is what I wanted to ask you about as well. Like, so if you can share a little bit more about like what about, let's say, the program did you really love? Like,
um, I had never meditated before.
mm-hmm,
The closest was I practiced yoga for some years,
mm,
but never meditated. And
mm.
the way you bring me into this what do you call it, meditation mood, or meditative
Yeah,
mind.
exactly. Like
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
right. Like
And
a state,
I
inner state in a way. Like you're like this internal state that is created when we are in meditative state. Let's say it's like you're very much present. You can say also very present. Yeah.
yes, and the only thing I needed to do was to listen to you.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
got into that state, and when I was in that state, I felt like I could be honest, not only to you, but really
Mm.
honest to me, to say
Mm.
things to
Mm.
myself that I've never said to myself before.
Mm.
It's kind of clarity,
Mm.
um, yeah,
Mm.
clear
Yeah.
thoughts that are
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
kind of the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting that you're pointing that out. So let's say, in comparison, what did you do before? Now you're being able to tell yourself the truth and express. So then, yeah, what was the difference from what were you doing before?
It was my one and only goal was kind of be frisk, not being ill
to be
anymore.
to be well, to be feeling healthy,
do my work like before.
And
I knew from before that it takes some time, but eventually I will get there. Because I
exactly.
burned out before and probably never have got really back to my full potential. The last 5 years.
That's also a long time.
Yes. During all those years, I've been thinking that I'm well again, but probably have not been that. And to be really honest with myself, it helps me to go forward.
It's kind of what we were just actually talking about, just coming from our session just prior to this interview. And it's what we were talking about, actually, this how much we are so used to really giving ourselves such a hard time, like really pushing ourselves in the wrong direction, like how I also was doing. Like I was just like, okay, I have set my mind on something and I have this idea in my mind. I have this picture, like this is what I want it to be like. This is the result that I'm aiming towards. And I sort of like, this is the old version of myself. And I have this idea and I'm like, I see it. And then I'm like, the only way I know how to work, it is to like, okay, let's like roll up our sleeves. Let's hammer ourselves on the chest. Okay, cool, let's do it. And then it's like, okay, not done yet. Okay, what are we gonna do? Let's roll up our sleeves, and just like continue the same. And like, it's like really pushing ourselves and like, it's like ignoring all the signs from the body and the internal voice is actually saying, hey, I'm exhausted. Like I have an emotional freaking breakdown here. It's like, well, we don't have time for that. Like let's just work, just push through this thing. But then, where we are actually ending up, it's, we cannot ignore anymore. Like the body is actually shutting down. It's like, okay, so maybe I need to take a look at, there is something, there is a reason for why I'm not supposed to do it in the certain way that I have been doing, or what I am actually doing. And then listen to our inner voice and then start to walk in the direction of like, okay, this actually starts to feel good to me. Like listen to the body. It's more intelligent than our old ways of doing things. It's like if we just can listen to calm ourselves more down to like, okay, I'm open. Okay, I'm open to listen. Okay, maybe the body actually knows a better way of how to get to where you want to go if you just are open to listen. And then we are starting to walk, and then that's how we recover. So yeah, I just wanted to shoot and point that out. And
this method, being stubborn and just work on, it's worked well for me. 40 years or something.
Yes.
It's kind of me.
It is deeply ingrained habits.
yeah, things happens in life, and it didn't work anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's really cool. And so the results, like from implementing, so what you were sharing, you said something earlier as well, like you were saying that you were a bit skeptical entering into the program because also like being a bit worried, like because I don't like the feeling of like I don't have capacity to do too much. But then your experience was that you didn't actually have to do a lot, or or maybe like what you needed to do was to show up basically to our
Yes.
sessions. And then I took you through my like I have some guided meditation, and I have some process that I sort of were guiding you so that you become very much present with inside of your own, let's say, heart center, your own body. And then from there it just becomes so much more clear to see the things, and to sort of like tidy up what has been like clouding in front of your eyes, and then just clearing that up, and then feeling a lot more, gaining back a lot more energy afterwards. Right?
I remember you started with it was not work related, but you said in Norwegian, you said løfte av, to yes, old stuff.
So to take off, tidy up, or to take off. You know, when our cup is full, it kind of flows over. So we need to take off. We need to offload. Then we have room for more, right?
Yes. And one interesting thing is that I have speaking with professionals before, so I thought this will be a very difficult task for Helene to help me, because I thought I had thought about everything in my life kind of and discussed it with professionals before, but you had another angle on it. I think that worked well for me.
Well, I'm super happy to hear that. So it's wonderful to see all the good results as well. And of course, it is also for it to work. We also need to, let's say, be open to receive, let's say, help as well. So first, we need to arrive to a point where, like, okay, now I'm ready to have a change, and because we are not anymore, let's say, argumenting for something that is actually leading us in the opposite direction of, or where we really want to go. And so, but that's where you are and where you were as well. So that is also a big reason for why it actually is working too. So yeah. And so now implementing what you have learned in the program, what would you say is what's the main results that it has given you?
The main result, I think, is when my wife says that, and that was quite early, after 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
She knew I was in some program, but she didn't know what we talked about or anything. But I asked her after 3 weeks, just do you see any change? And then she says something like, it's a remarkable extreme improvement. Now we are starting to be an interesting guy to live with again.
That's good.
So
good.
I think
That's great.
that's a good improvement, at least.
That is wonderful. That is really wonderful.
I have got my concentration back. I can remember things. Not 100% back at doing all the things I could do in job earlier, but it's a remarkable improvement in life. And my mood is much better.
Yeah, good.
And
And
in
yeah,
this period, we also have bought an apartment in another place in Norway. And that's
yeah,
a decision that I couldn't have taken
yeah,
before.
yeah. That's an important point
Mm.
too. To let's say to have that sense of, let's say, certainty, that you're trusting, like a certainty of like, okay, I know what I want. I know that I'm trusting myself to make such like an important decision
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
Because again, I'm speaking from experience, because when you are burned out, so um, and oh my god, what a sense of insecurity actually it produces. And it becomes like, oh my god, I don't know. It's like that's sort of like that sentence, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know sort of how did it happen that I'm now suddenly burned out, and why did it happen? I don't know that. And how am I going to get myself from here to feeling really amazing again? I don't know that. I don't know if my work is this the work that I'm supposed to be doing. Like, and like then buying an apartment is like, oh my god, that's like so far away from being exhausted. But yeah, so that is definitely a huge sign to, you know, the process of recovery is like, yeah, okay, I bought an apartment, and that's really cool.
And I've also um, know how to meditate myself.
Yeah,
A lot of advices in my book with a circle around.
yeah, yeah.
And, it's a bit strange because sometimes I go back and how should I think about this, and what should I do now when I look at this, and then I only need to read the sentence, and it's kind of that, then it happens.
Yeah,
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 something in my head that is programmed in another way, kind of. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so it's really all about that, from being in procrastination, from being in a space of like not being able to concentrate, not being able to hold focus for a long period of time. And so that is a lot of stuff going on in the mind, that is really distracting and pulling you, and even emotional as well, like mental, emotional, even spiritual. It's like we are pulled in so many different directions, and it's like, oh. And then as you're talking about the meditation, and now you have learned and you have done in your practice a lot of meditations, that's really amazing. And then the result from having practicing meditation as much as you have, then it takes you really short amount of time to become centered, and to be like, okay, now I'm centered, now I'm in focus. You have that internal space of stillness, and it's like, okay, now I'm ready. So that's like very different from having all the energy in only the mind, and it's like being like, oh my god. And then yeah, it's a whole different um approach, and also experience of what it means to be living inside, let's say, of our bodies as well, because it's not a nice feeling to uh to be on the verge of having anxiety. I even had anxiety as well, for a long time too. But it's like it's such a big difference. So yeah, it's really beautiful. And so what would you say, like, where would you be now if you wouldn't have joined the program?
As a researcher, I would say I don't know. You have this always you have this what in Norwegian, let's say doctor tid, doctor time. Time helps.
Okay, yeah.
But I had been exhausted for so long that I probably would have been in the same state.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Maybe I hadn't been at work at all.
Mhm.
I don't know really. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
my plan was to either get some help or
Mm.
to retire and just try to be at work one more year and then retire. So yeah.
And
So,
now what do you say regards that now?
I want to continue to work as planned at least 5 more years.
Yeah.
Where I'm now. Yes.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And as well as looking forward to it too, like to imagine like yourself having that tons of energy, and if you choose to retire at some point, you just like see yourself having so much energy, and it's going to be like follow the inspiration and just
Yes, yeah, and I don't think the energy would come back just by retiring.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a good
But
point. That's a
my
very
whole
good point.
life
A very good point.
I've been, and my wife, I think, yeah, I was very, I could be angry very easy.
Okay.
Yeah, and not a very good person to stay around with.
Yeah. I never saw you angry.
No,
I remember you mentioned it, but
yeah,
I never had that experience. Yeah.
it's
So
it's and most people don't know or don't recognize that I was burned out and I'm in a very low mood. It's kind of you behave as well. I behave as I in a habit, kind of. My habit was to be nice and polite, etc., etc. But inside, I didn't feel like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. No, it's really we are being extremely hard on ourselves. Like when we are burned out like that, it's like that's what you're explaining. It's like the outer world, other people, how they see us, and how it kind of looks like on the exterior. Kind of looks like, yeah, we are super smiling and super like having it all together, and being so happy and grateful about our lives, and then we come home and we close the door behind us, and it's like, oh my god, if it's getting worse than now, I don't know. It's like very close to the bottom of the bottom, so it's so super hopeless situation. So but yeah, no, now you have much more energy, and it's genuine. It's heartfelt. It's we are not putting on some kind of exterior, pretending that it looks really good, and actually on the inside, but it comes from within. That's the beauty of all of this, from everything in the program. It really becomes like when our batteries are recharging again, and we are reconnecting again, like with what feels good, with our heart center, and then it is genuine. Like what you see on the outside, it is actually an extension of how amazing, uh, how it actually feels on the inside.
Yes, and I also now recognize much better what is good for me and what is exhausting, and why do I feel like I do, and some people tells me something, and yeah, to cope with this all this thought that's going through my head. Yeah. It's much more, yeah.
Yeah, much more at ease with that as well. Yeah. Okay, that's really good. I'm so happy to hear all of this, and I'm really also hoping that for you who are watching, that you're finding this interesting, and hopefully, like since you're here, I'm sure that it is resonating also with you. Maybe you are going through something similar, or you can recognize some parts of our stories, and so then, if that's the case, Gorm, I'd like to ask you. So for the people who are watching, and they are sitting on the fence, wanting to hop on a call with me, but still they haven't talked with me yet. And what would you tell them?
Call Helene or send her an email or whatever you want to do, and just start from there. Give it a try. Yeah.
Right.
You can't be worse than you are right now. It's very bad state to be in.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good message to sign off with. So thank you so much, Gorm, for being here with me, for making yourself available and sharing your story. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Helena.
And you're super welcome. And so for all of you who are now watching, thank you so much also for spending your time with us here today. And so when you are going through something similar, like you are going through right now, a burnout, and you are really longing to return to that authentic, energized version of yourself, who at the moment, maybe you don't really have the energy and to do what you really love to do. And if you are doing things that you're loving to do, you're not really feeling enjoyment in doing the things that you supposed or to use that used to give you happy and good feelings. And so these are all symptoms of you now going through a burnout. And so then I strongly advise you to click on the link that you will find around this video here somewhere. And click on that link and then book a call with me, and then we can have a conversation, and so that you get help on this. And so maybe next time I will be interviewing you and sharing your success story with everybody, how you were able to recover from burnout. And thank you so much for staying here with us, and we talk again soon.